Hi, so mutism and nonverbal. So mutism is an anxiety disorder where a person is unable to speak in certain or all social situations, such as to classmates, work colleagues, or to relatives they do not see very often. This usually starts during childhood, which if left untreated can persist into adulthood. This condition is most commonly known as selective mutism, but anyone who suffers from this knows it's anything but selective. Do not choose to not speak. So the term situational mutism is becoming a more preferred and more accurate terminology. The word mutism comes from the Latin mutus, which means silent. So it's very important to understand and be aware that someone with situational mutism may really want to and need to speak, but physically can't due to their anxiety. No one knows why, but it is more prevalent in girls. So, the expectation to talk to certain people or in certain situations triggers a freeze response of anxiety and panic, which makes talking impossible. So, do you have selective mutism? So, can you speak freely at home or with people you feel most comfortable with, but you shut down in public or certain places? Does anxiety paralyse you completely, especially if it's a trigger place like the classroom or certain workplaces or social places? And then this will become a contaminated place, triggering you every time you go back there. You need time to adjust to social situations, new people, etc., as these can trigger your anxiety. You resort to non-verbal ways of communication like pointing, nodding, huffing, shoulder shrugging, or facial expressions, because you physically cannot get the words out. You have other forms of anxiety, generalised anxiety, panic disorder, social anxiety. In public spaces, you only feel comfortable speaking through someone you trust. So if I'm not this quite a lot with my other half. Yeah, so if someone asks you to speak for them or to order for them in a restaurant or whatever takeaway place, or speak on the phone for them, be supportive. They cannot help it. Don't be an asshole. They're not doing it to be awkward. Seriously, they are frozen. They cannot get the words out, or if they do, they stutter and splutter, and it just it's unless you've been there, you can't understand it. So just try and be supportive, not doing it to be a pain. You avoid social situations due to all of this. Your symptoms persist to the extent it is significantly impairing your life. So yeah, like I say, there's really much you can do about situational mutism. I mean, when you're young, obviously you get the help, hopefully, but going into adulthood, the best way to combat it is to know what your triggers are, your trigger places, your trigger people, situations, and as best as possible, steer clear. It's the only advice I can give. Or if you have to go into these situations, be as prepared as you can and just take someone with you. But yeah, mutism isn't great, but yeah, so thanks for listening.